Flying on, I'm off and running. I know where I am, and I know just where I'm going. So don't push too hard. I got pride.
Welcome to the Swans Blog's SwansCast. I'm Justin, and I'm joined by Warwick Kappa, former AFL great and current club DJ, burger chain mogul, wine merchant, musician, and high-flying ace. Warwick, thank you for joining me, and let me start by saying that we are huge admirers of your work, but we don't quite know what you're up to these days.
Good on you, mate. Warwick's done it all. I don't know. I've done it. I've won about 16 caps, haven't I?
Oh, yeah.
Media star, actor, Hall of Fame, 100 goal full forward, sitting on heads for a living. What else can I do? Funny, isn't it?
It is, and...
It's always good to be adaptable, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, you do have to be in today's day and age. I mean, you've moved to Melbourne, you've got a career as a DJ. Are you still doing the DJing?
Yeah, I do that part-time. I do part-time DJ. I just bought a new song out called Telephone. Sold about 5,000 copies, so I started to go, right, so make sure my fans and listeners can get that song called Telephone, which is on iTunes. They can get that. They can download that for $2.70, not a bad song. And I was lucky enough last time I went to number 1 back in 85. Jack Goes went to number 2, so it was pretty good because it's sort of rivals. Mark Jackson's lost 28 kilos of fat, now we can't get one. He's not a bad bloke. Oh, Jacko.
Are you still doing your Kappa Wine Tax app? Is that still a thing?
Yeah. We're selling the wine. We've got the track suits now, the Kappa track suits and shorts, and they can get them on the fan page, on the website, the Swans website, fan page. They want to get them.
Brilliant. Now, I can't say I've had any Kappa Shiraz, but are you still selling that as well?
Yeah, we sold about a case of those last week for a Kappa Shiraz, $59.99, Legend Shiraz.
Oh, brilliant.
One at 2,000, but I've sold 7,000, but we'll get that quite.
Nice.
It's been a good life after the footy. I've sort of marketed myself pretty well. One of the 5 players to be known around the world, and they said on the footy show last week I got voted the number 1 cold hero.
Oh, wow.
In the AFL by 57%, so I was happy with that. That was nice of them to say. But I'm still the most well-known Sydney Swan in the last 150 years.
Yes.
And Lockett was behind me, so that's pretty good. Even though he kicked more goals, they said I'm more recognisable. Which is nice of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember as a kid, it was never, Alex Jeslenko. It was always Kappa. Kids going up in the mark for a pat mark, it was always going up and screaming Kappa as he went up.
Yeah, they're still doing it now. They did just for about 40 years now. They've been doing me the last 30. It's been a bit of an honour. Sitting on heads for a living, and they still remember. So I do about $3 nights a week, and they hire me and they would jump me back and go, "Yeah, Pacino's, you fucking guilty." They get very excited. I get excited too. It's good fun.
Oh, I love it. I still love watching some of the highlights as well. That mark as well. There's a couple of spectacular marks, but there's got to be that one standout mark that you took, and that was, I believe, it was against Hawthorn as well.
That's probably over Grant Laurie. It was going to kick 6, even though we lost by a goal, and one over Chris Langford, one-hander.
Oh, that was spectacular.
That saved me a lot of money. I sold out my shows. The Sideways one, they got Mark of the Year. They had me against Modra last year on the Zoomy show a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Had our highlights. He kicked 13, I only kicked 9. I handballed 3. I shouldn't have done that.
Yes. You should have gone 1 kick, 1 goal.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been so nice. Jared Hill kept running past, and I felt sorry for him. So I gave it. It's been a good career, though. Had a good 10 years at the top, so I'm happy.
Oh, yeah. And what about Kappa's Commando course? Is that still going?
Yeah, I did that 6 months. That was good. Did a bit of personal training. I'm sponsored by Anytime Fitness, so I do a bit of training here and there. And I took 58 in 2 months. I'm still going okay. Lost 10 kilos. Almost died 3 months ago. You might have seen on the news. Had an appendix burst, so that was pretty scary.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to enjoy every day as it comes, because I could have died then, because I could have got septicemia. But luckily I was pretty fit and I survived that, so I'm pretty happy.
That's awesome. It's we're absolutely glad to hear that you're coming out the other side and feeling better. That is fantastic, and you might be getting a little bit into the high 50s, but you still look young and beautiful.
Oh, thanks, mate. I must have a good plastic surgeon. Thanks, Dan Delanza. It gives me a bit of stature. 6-pack going now, so I'm feeling I lost 10 kilos. And I thought that was one good thing. I trimmed down the block of flats. I lost 10 kilos, and that's what happens when you don't eat for 2 weeks. I think I had one jelly in 2 weeks. So the appetite Still not back, which is good. I try and walk 5 days a day and do a few weights. It keeps the guts off you.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about that Pamela Anderson ad, how that came to be.
Yeah, well, I had a TV show 3 years ago for the platform, and on Aurora TV on Foxtel, and one of the sponsors, he loves me, Sean Buckley, he owns Alltime, and he breaks Melbourne, he loves me, and he sponsored our TV show back 4 years ago, and he said, I just want you to do a couple of ads for us. Got some big names, and we got 278 shops, so I got chose me to do 2 ads. One with Charlie Sheen 2 years ago. That was good. That guy voted the most cackiest ad in the world, so I was happy. So me and Charlie done it again. Most cackiest, all the feminists hated us, but we loved it because we got the ratings up by 90%, and the company doubled in turnover that year because of the commercial. And then they got us back with Pamela Anderson with all the shippers, all the rubber girls on the boat. Yep. That was great. And I spent 2 days with Charlie Sheen, 2 days with Pamela Anderson on the Gold Coast, and I stayed at Barassi, and we had the 5 girls that saved me, including Pamela, and that was it was like a Baywatch skit. Yeah, pretty funny. There was a lot of tips and ask. I was right at home.
There you go. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't Pamela Anderson who saved the day in the end, was it?
Nah, it wasn't. I was a starboard. She wasn't even sure who I was. I said, we've got 3 things in common, Pamela. We're both beautiful, both done pornos, and we're both, I'm 5 for 3 and you're 5 for 3. You're a beauty. Yeah.
And look, you've got a bit of an entertaining, if not checkered history after football. I remember growing up.
Yeah, I've done everything. I was on Big Brother. I got trained after nudity. I was in Penthouse 3 times. That number one porno. My girlfriend. She was 24. I was 46.
Oh wow!
Make an impact. Like to have a few doors explored and do a few different things, mate. In life.
Yeah, well, you've done Lollipop Man, so you've done some traffic management.
Yeah, I like the 2 days of that. I fell asleep in my Lamborghini in my $800,000 car, and they didn't wake me up. And I got sacked for bringing the company in disappeared, but I had the last laugh because I told a story for 60 minutes for 40 grand. So I got a whole year's wages in 2 hours. So I broke him up.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Last laugh.
I was a meter maid for 2 days. That was funny.
Yep.
First meter maid. That was a bit of publicity stunt.
You've also been a singer and a movie star as well.
Yeah. I've done Fortress. I was a nude convict in Fortress, the Christopher Lambert.
Yep.
And I was very close to Coleman Medal for 3 years. Maybe a bit too close, but everything's pretty good. And I was on Neighbours with her for 3 episodes back in '85.
Yep. That's awesome.
I taught Cole how to sing and dance. That was good.
So one of our listeners was from Sharon Smythe, and she mentioned that she saw you play your first game for the Swans in Sydney, and she remembered you in your baggy shorts, your dark hair, standing in the outfield, sort of biting away at the fingernails, but you still managed to bag a couple of goals.
Yeah. Was that the second, was that?
I believe she's saying in the seniors, the first game.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, they were a bit baggy. Yeah, they were a bit dark. Yeah, I got a few tips and touch-ups. And then a year later, it was Warwick Kappa Hollywood style, and bang, hit 195 goals in 2 years, and the rest was history. Bang. Then I was sitting on heads for a living, wasn't I?
Oh, you were. There was a couple of spectacular ones, but the one against Hawthorn really stands out for me. It was absolutely sensational.
Yeah, but she's right there. I did basically got 3 years to get there. I played in the thirds and played in the seconds. I won the best and the first by votes, and that was a turning point. Yeah, they wouldn't give me a game that year. I didn't have to win the best and first, just by a vote, and then I go over the line. Then Carlton offered me $85,000 a year back in '82, which is $280,000 a year. 3 years was good money back in '82. So then the Swans had to match it because they want to keep me.
Yeah.
That's right. Then away we went.
So you started your career with basically South Melbourne in the late 70s, early 80s?
Correct. I was 17 and I played under 19s, Lakeside. And had 3 years, 1.5 years in the thirds and a year in the seconds.
Yep.
It took me about 2.25 years to get a game, and then I won the best and first, like I said. And then away we went.
And then you returned after playing for those under 19s. You spent a season playing for Oakley Seniors.
Yeah, what happened there, mate? I played 40 teams. I was playing both the districts. I was playing under 16s. I played in seniors. Me and David Reece Jones. We both won the Brownlow, equivalent to the Brownlow. I won 16s in the federal competition, and he won under 18s.
Yep.
So we were both the standouts in the Eastern districts. Only about 2 players made it. Actually 3. Me, him, and Stephen Wright.
Oh, awesome.
all played in the same club.
And then now you played 124 AFL VFL games, including 35 night games as well. And in that season in 1986, when you kicked over 100 goals, you were the first one since...
1986 I kicked 92 goals and 1987 103.
That's right, sorry, 1987. But you're also the first one since Bob Pratt to kick 100 plus goals in a season.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good achievement. I was happy with that. And I was pissed off. I would have done it in 1986, but the bloody wife left me and fucked my head up. the coach hated Joanne for that. Because she wanted to go back to Melbourne, the 6 games to go, and it fucked my average up. I would have got it easy. I was kicking 5.5 goals a game.
And Sydney finished second, I believe, that year as well.
Yeah, we finished second both years and we lost every final.
Yeah.
So we had a great year. I think we won about 7 or 18 games. Finished second. I mean, we lost the whole 4 finals, won by a goal. And then 187, Hawks walked on Tractor by 87 points, I think, or 90 points. Where I kicked 5 and got best in the ground. I took the marking century, but I only played 3 quarters. I tore my hamstring.
Wow.
So I missed the next final. So it was a good year for me, and I was happy to play the grand final. We lost, so it was a good day and a bad day for me.
And so in 86, you finished runner-up to Brian Taylor in the Coleman Medal, and then 1987 you finished runner-up to Tony Lockett in the Coleman Medal. But you
can't believe that. You finished 103 goals and still finished second. How's that? Yeah.
Well, it wasn't...
That wouldn't happen now. Last year the goal kicking was won by 45 goals from the guy at Geelong.
No, but if you go back a little bit over a decade ago, roughly a decade ago, Brendan Fevola finished runner-up to Lance Franklin. And he kicked 99 goals, and Lance Franklin kicked, I think it was about 102 goals that season.
Yeah, who was finished second?
That was Brendan Fevola was second.
Yeah, he's my fellow radio. Just always bag me every 2 weeks about how he shake, and he shit himself. And he actually had about 5 players on him. I felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
So the bloody coach stacked the back line and they wouldn't get it. So pretty bad sponsorship by the coach, I thought. By coach.
Yeah, I remember watching that match. I agree. I was very disappointed he didn't get it. It would have been, I think, the first match in AFL VFL history where 2 players would have kicked 200 goals between them for the season.
Yeah, he put 4 or 5 blokes on him. Like, I've had 4 or 5 blokes on me for 3 years. Not easy.
Yeah, so you finally became a Hall of Fame player, but you were in the early 80s, you were Sydney's first marquee player, but also, impressively, you're a full-time Sydney Swans leading goal kicker as well.
Yes, that was good, yeah. 5 years in a row. Then I went to Brisbane. I should have stayed there in hindsight, but the wife wanted to go to Gold Coast after being in Sydney for about 6 years.
Yep.
And I went to Brisbane. I won the goal kick in Brisbane with about 50 goals. The ball only came down every half an hour. Like an apple up there.
So...
Yeah, I said to Peter Knight couldn't coach speak to me dirty. I said, put me centre half back. At least I'll see the ball.
Yeah.
The rest of the week. Bit of a nightmare.
So, in that interview you had on Open Mic, I believe at the time you had set the highest transfer fee of $475,000, which was the move from Sydney to Brisbane.
Yep. Yeah.
And your move up to Brisbane, how did that sort of impact with the players? Were they, I guess, resentful? Were they supportive? You could sort of see from the stats alone that it was a huge difference in output and also how the players were passing and kicking it to you.
A bit of a nightmare, mate. I only had 3 friends, and 2 of them were the rub and tug girls, and one was Orange Boy. The rest hated me guts. I was on 35,000 a week, and next one was about 10,000. So they got to be shitty, and they all loved me, but they wouldn't pass the ball to me. I'd take Mark of the Year just to get a mark.
Yep.
I finally got 50 goals that year.
Well, there was one particular high point, which was the match that Robert Walls actually got sacked in, where you took that mark about 50 metres out.
Yeah, that was the big turning point. That was funny because they were trying to drop me, so I was only kicking about 2 or 3 a week, and then I kicked 5. I think I kicked 5 that week, or 4 or 5, and Hardy got 8, I think. And I think 50 seconds to go, and I thought I'm going to mark this and be a hero, and I'm going to turn it around for Warwick Kappa, and I was 50 out. Thank God a hurricane picked up, big wind came out, and I went bang straight for the middle. So I went from building the hero, and boys get to go.
And with your time at that club, like you were working basically under Peter Knights as a coach, and there were some interesting things that were said in the open mic interview as well. Also, Chris Vasquez, who was more well known for things outside of football than inside football. What was that environment like up in Brisbane? Was it a good football environment, or was it a bit chaotic and messy?
No, it was a bit chaotic. It was unusual because I'm only played in Australia over 2 privately owned clubs, which is good. That's why I'm still getting paid $3,000 an hour now, so they still love me. But the extra exposure helped me for 2 privately owned clubs. Answer your question, yeah, it was pretty unusual, mate. I was living in penthouse at the Sheridan, getting wine down by Johnny Farnham. They bought me a clothes shop. Got a Lamborghini sign on the table, always nice way.
Wow.
But we were saying, first of all, we were supposed to play Gold Coast, but we lived in Brisbane. Nightmare. Then we had to drive an hour each way to training, and they finally relocated 20 years later. But we went to play Carrara, we got a few ground, came down, walked down too slow, had 3 blokes to me, it's windy, and a lot different than FCG.
Yeah.
And, it was a bit of a turmoil back then, because I was even working in the pub for a while, just to get out of the house, and I was working with a sponsor, Coleman Medal. That was okay, 3 hours a day, just something to do.
So is that something you normally did throughout your career? While you were hired and paid by the clubs, did you do other work outside of basically playing football?
Yeah, basically just part-time. I was doing operational stuff because I was based in Sydney 10 years ago. Jerry said we had 24 ghosts and we had Warwick Kappa. I was doing the works. So I was sponsored by a Fevola company. I didn't know where I was coming or going half the time. I got 3 keys in Fevola. But I was doing a lot of nightclubs and appearances and guest DJ and opening shops that sort of paid the bills. Got me out there. Back then we used to just train at night time, like 4:30, but now they train 3 times a day. They got more full time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back then we tried to have a job part time to keep our minds off it, you know?
Yeah, like there's a really interesting halftime show from a 1986 match, which gave a bit of a view into, I guess, your life a little bit, where during the day, on some days, you would work with the Ashfield City Council.
Yeah.
And it was kind of in line with almost the lollipop work, whereby they had some footage of you working on some road repairs as well.
Oh, yeah, I did it part time. I went to the Ashfield Council. It was good. It was funny. I take a lot of time off, but I was there part time. It was good. I was doing a bit of road work, and then I got my licence. I started driving the concretes around. Did parks and gardens. Yeah, it wasn't a bad job 2 years. Actually went back and did a footy show there 2 years ago. It's good. The old Magpies.
Oh, nice.
So it was good 25 years later. That was the Ashfield Council. I was there part time. It was good.
So I just want to touch a little bit more on some of the Swans history. In particular, there's a bit of a storied past with the Swans. They got that bit of a storied history in the early 80s. So there was that transition from South Melbourne to Sydney.
Yeah.
For over a couple of years.
That left about 1984, I think, and I went up in 85.
Yep.
And we had to just fly up every 2 weeks. Yeah, so that was all right. I didn't want to go straight away. I liked it at home. So we just trained with the seconds, and those 5 players got in. We just fly every 2 weeks.
Yep.
That was okay.
So then there was also that Jeffrey Eddleston became more involved with the club in 1986, and he did a takeover bid. And there's a bit of controversy about that takeover bid itself. But what I was interested in was what kind of influence did Dr. Eddleston have on the club in that particular time, between your time there, which was 1986 to 1987, when he was also there?
Yeah, it was good, yeah. He was kind of the face of it, but he wasn't really. It was really power play. And Westpac took over. So it wasn't really Eddleston, he was just the face of it.
Yep.
He didn't have any money anyway. He didn't have that much money, so it was just sort of like, there's like publicity. And I was like the face of it, advertising. You know what I mean? Get the record and
yep.
And what have you. So power play tried to get it like the American Footy League, which helped. That's why they gave my tickets away. But they got the Swans on the map, you know? We started getting 30,000 in a game instead of 7,000.
Yep.
So it was good for the club. It worked. Those 2 years are huge. So he was like the face of it, and they had power play behind it, and they had to take over bid. And that's what happened. It sort of saved the club.
And there was...
Now we're starting to go right now, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting as well because Tom Hafey, Greg Williams, Jared Healy, David Bolton, Bernard Toohey, Merv Neagle, and Jim Edmond, they were all part of that group of personalities and players and staff that were brought in over that early part of Eddleston's influence.
And we even had Morris Rowley, but we couldn't fit him in the salary cap.
Yes.
And we had Paul Warwick, so they had to go back to Security because we couldn't fit him in.
Yeah, exactly, because then there was that exodus of players only a couple of years later.
Yeah. Interesting times, wasn't it?
It was, and when you came back to the club after your Brisbane stint, what was the environment like back then?
Not that good, because Tommy Haper left, and we had Cogadier, who couldn't coach Figs to be dirty, you know what he's doing. And no one liked him. He was a bit jealous of me because I was getting the money, and he got pissed off, and then I was in seconds for about 5 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I think I got 45 goals that year. Got second in the jockey game. I think those blood beat me because I missed 5 games. He showed me cartilage. I missed 3 weeks. Sort of stuffed me out, but I was going good that year. But they wouldn't give me a regular. They wouldn't play me every week. They were being pains in the asses because I was that coach. So I got a bit jealous. You know?
Yep.
So it wasn't great times. It wasn't not for me.
No, and that was in that run when Swans were mostly winless, and it wasn't until Ron Barassi and that whole AFL, VFL, that extraordinary general meeting of all the clubs to help Sydney basically bail Sydney out with their licensing fees, and then Ron Barassi until it really started to turn around again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Barassi came up, then it got better. And I hired Burden for a year. He did okay, and he started whacking a few bucks.
Yeah.
That happens. He gets jealous. It happens all the time. The club's been going right. It's been interesting 20 years. They've good to see it turned around this year with the kids, though.
Yeah, they've been absolutely brilliant.
We're doing all right. I'm a bit upset we've got 3 top players out now. It's going to be hard, though.
Yep.
Now with a captain now. We've got Heaney and we've got Buddy out now. So it's doing.
Yeah.
So good, is it?
No, and hopefully some of those players will return in a couple of weeks. Injury report came out today. It's looking a bit more positive than it was a couple of days ago.
Might only be 2 weeks, eh? Hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a couple more comments just from a couple of our listeners. So Julie Seabury, she said that she's actually bought one of your pairs of boots before, and she has them in a huge glass case with a pluck, bought them at an auction.
Oh, yeah. Do you like them?
Oh, she loves them. Absolutely loves them. I think it's probably her prized possession.
I hope she gives them a kiss once a week.
Probably sure she does. For good luck, at least, anyway.
I started baby shots $25 once for a charity. And the girl won dirty ones. I said, okay, that's fair enough. I'll bring a plain around dirty pair in.
Yep.
Pretty funny.
Got another one from Stephen Curran. He's a long-time supporter. He asks, do you remember the clash at Collingwood at Victoria Park where...
Yeah, they played that game 3 times on Fox Grades on, I think, 9. First game of the year. Yeah.
And he says in this one particular instance, the crowd gave you a bit of curry. They really disliked you on the field, and then after the Swans won, the crowd went to the Swans change room to let them know how they felt about the result.
Yeah. All the foreigners down there, they got a bit shitty. My mum had to go to the toilet and take a badge off my face on it because they were shitty. But that's why it didn't help me tell them to get fucked in it. That's bad luck, eh?
No.
Kicked 9 at 17 marks to go 4 away, PRG, so stuck it right up and was good.
Oh, absolutely. And he said he remember being in the crowd and he thought he was going to get lynched that day.
Yeah, Tommy took me off 2 minutes ago so I wouldn't get killed. They were throwing bottles at me and they were full ones, so they're not too smart there.
Oh, was that the full beer bottles?
Yeah.
Wow. I've heard about that one.
Yeah, they're pretty full on down there.
Yeah, well...
I took about 6 marks a century there. The game was in the Herald Sun. Double spread. It was a good one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was pretty good, yeah.
So, there's some more interesting stuff that you've done over the last sort of decade or so. Do you still hire out for celebrity appearances at functions or events and bar mitzvahs and things like that?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I do it one Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah,
and
I've got to host the mullet competition Sunday.
Brilliant. Who's got the best mullet today in footy?
Oh, it's a good one, isn't there? I think the best one's Smitty from Footscray.
Oh, What about the guy from Adelaide?
Oh, yeah, the young guy. That's a bit of piss, isn't it?
He looks like he's about 35 years old.
I know. Smitty looks like he's about 17, plays in the wing.
Exactly.
Not a bad player.
No, he's a good player. Have him at the Swans every day of the week.
Yeah.
Now, are you still a celebrity wedding celebrant?
Yeah, I do that sometimes too.
That's good.
Most times I do Bucks nights. It's more fun. It's easier.
Yep.
I did the Swans Bucks night. I did one for Ben McGlynn.
Oh, nice.
I get his Bucks night. They loved it. Sure he was there and they were all there.
Oh, that's brilliant.
They love the Caps, and I'm friends with his uncle now. He gets to be shows in Missouri. He was a good family. He was a good player. Played
Yep.
all time in the city. Yeah.
And who was the toughest player you played on?
Probably the ex-wife. She used to beat me out of the bedroom, but I used to like it. I thought if she got 6 hours to stop it, you just go and put some lingerie on. Bang. No, probably Rick Kennedy is a pain in the ass. He couldn't fight, but he liked to push you around a bit.
Yep.
Stake in the back of the head. And Rod Carter was a pain in the ass. He'd hang on to me when I went to Brisbane. They were good blackouts, and Frawley was pretty hard too.
How do you think you'd go today, given that all the rule changes are totally for the forwards now?
I reckon I kick about 170 goals a year. Easy. Because, like Dunstall said, you'd be 3 times better than playing the forward line, and you're 3 times more free kicks now these days, because you block their head, punch their head, or cup their arms, free kick. Back then, nothing.
Well, if you can still jump up and sit on people's heads, you're going to get 10 goals a game.
Yeah, no, it's just like that's Dunstall's job. It's a lot easier because you get miles more free kicks. You can't block their run, you can't punch them, you can't knock your arms out. So it'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it? It's more cameras.
Yep.
Like playing a game these days. Like playing a game. It's good for the game. It was a bit dirty back then. Only one camera.
Well, that was part of the game, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, most of it you're going to be like the game now. It's a lot of the game back then. A lot better. A lot tougher. And less free kicks. And these days it's like basketball a bit. They go back to go forwards.
Yep.
They're going to pump the ball. Just pump the ball down along the goal square and go, Kappa! Come on, take some Kappas. There's only Jeremy Howe. That's about it.
Oh, he's great. He's been sensational for the last couple of years.
He's been good, yeah. He was there last year. He informed us to dip, and now he's injured again. So
which one would you say takes a better mark? Ryan from West Coast?
Yeah.
Or our man from Collingwood?
I reckon Jeremy Howe.
Yep.
Because he's done 10 years like I did. I like jumping Liam, though. He's going all right. He takes some good hangers.
Oh, he takes some spectacular ones.
He's a ripper. He jumps every week. I like that. He has a crack. A lot of me fucks up, but he always gets one.
Yeah. Now, where would you rank Leo Barry's mark?
Leo Barry's good. He's one of my neighbours too. He's not born. Leo Barry, you star!
Now,
Yeah,
would you say that mark is as good as your marks or better?
Nowhere near as spectacular, but very, very good timing, I must admit.
Oh, sensational
Nowhere
timing.
near as spectacular, but the time he did it was perfect. Because he won a grand final for us.
Were you there at the ground for that game?
No, I don't think I was that one. I think I was dancing on the coffee table and jumping in the pool too. I was that excited. I was grand. I think I had 13 strippers in my house that day. I was going sick. So yeah, that was good, strong hands because you know what happened? He fucked the kicker a minute beforehand.
Straight to Dean Cox.
And you would know because you know footy.
Yep.
He kicked the Cox and Cox hit the back and he had to save it. So he knew he cracked it up and he had to. So he tried like anything and he had hands like mine, like Bison, didn't he? He squeezed it, threw it in a pack of 6. So it was a great effort.
I don't think many Swan supporters will ever forget where they were when that happened.
Oh shit up, wasn't it? I almost had blood myself. I had to go to Taunton, knock the top off it. I was that excited. Leo Barry, you star! What great timing! It's gone down in play history for that. Fantastic.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. And look, what's your all-time footy memory? Is it a mark? Is it a play? Is it a goal?
Well, probably the best memory was I think running out first time and first goal in league football. I think it was my first kick. I think it come off the tag and I couldn't fucking believe me luck and luck. And I stabbed on. I said, shit, I just kept it going. But in AFL history, this is unreal. So I was very excited. and then And then probably take a mark of the century and kick it 100. That's probably the top three.
Yep.
And playing the finals, even though we lost, but and best play in the finals, it was good.
Well, it's interesting about that mark of the century because as spectacular as it was, the Melbourne player was regarded by the AFL, or at least voted by the AFL, but I think all Swan supporters and those who have seen the mark would say yours is a lot better and a heck of a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I know. But, yeah, the game was made a decade to the century to Sydney, wasn't it?
Yep.
Melbourne. That was a good mark, though. Pretty high.
I think it was standing on Gary Lyon's shoulders.
Yeah, I took the same much training every week. That wasn't hard for me. I reckon the one sideways better, one-hander myself, but it was a good ride. I took one better than that in the second, and it wasn't on camera, so I was feeling. That's what the Sydney coach said in the seconds. He was pissed off. His best mark. I was 13 foot up on Flanagan, so it was like Smitty's. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what the coach said anyway. Inside 20, so that's not me saying. That's what he said. So it was like a one, but yeah, it was a good mark day. Yeah, well, I reckon mine was a good day. It's not better.
And does
especially degree of difficulty.
Yep.
Yes.
And do you share that memory with Chris Langford much? Do you call him up and talk about it?
I do. I work with him sometimes. Did he?
And that was up on the billboards in Sydney for about 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was on the Herald Sun. It was get the picture, get the sun. Yeah, my dad took a picture of that. It's actually good, yeah. Get the picture, get the sun. So yeah, it all helps. You're on billboards. Billboards for the campaign provides and a clickbeds. Clickbeds.com. They're cheap and easy, just like me.
Awesome.
That was a good six-figure earn. 2 years. That was good. That was on billboards.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Warwick, for coming on and speaking with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, sorry about it. It's been hard to hear, mate. I'm in the car, so it looks like I'm on hands-free. So, to all the listeners, let's go Sydney. Let's go Warwick Kappa, eh?
Yep, absolutely. And hopefully this year we'll be back in the finals again and doing a good job.
Yeah, look, I think we'll be in the finals this year. We've got 11 good kids, so let's hope we can get to the grand final. Thanks, matey.
From a 1 or 2 metre start. Oh, look at that! Hey, Kappa!
Brown and Kappa. Oh, there's Kappa again. How about plays off. They want more of that, the Sydney Swans. Back as Kappa. Look at that one. Oh, can he jump, this fella?
Contenders firstly last Sunday. Warwick Kappa.
Beat the goals. Kappa's got the sit here. And look at him go. What a mark. What a great mark. That's a long one. Kappa at the back of the pack. Flies. Oh,